Hello 1000 PS viewers, welcome to the review of the brand new Suzuki GSX-S1000 GT. Suzuki finally dares to do something. Gone are the days of the antiquated rounded design. The new GT, like its naked bike sister, has a futuristic appearance with corners and edges. But that's only in terms of looks. When riding, on the other hand, it's absolutely smooth. The proven 4-cylinder is a real model in terms of running culture, not least thanks to ride-by-wire and new tuning. It still has its roots in the GSX-R1000 of 2005, and that's a good thing, because the stable chassis and the high revving engine are a guarantee for riding pleasure, especially when it gets sporty. The price is also fair. So the question arises, does it need more? In 2014, Suzuki introduced the last model in the sport touring category, the GSX-S1000F. It was based on the GSX-S1000 naked bike, which was introduced in the same year. After the relaunch of the GSX-S1000 for the 2021 season, it now seems logical to serve the sport tourer segment again on this basis. Instead of an F, however, the abbreviation GT now adorns the model designation. The differences to the naked sister model, both visually and in terms of equipment, are now far more pronounced than was the case in 2014. If you look at the completely redesigned fairing, the look, with many edges in the design and the small, playful winglet-like formations in the side panels, is refreshingly different and at first glance not at all typical of Suzuki. The V-shaped LED daytime running lights at the front also bring contemporary verve to the appearance of the new GT. Fine aerodynamic details, such as the unusually shaped rearview mirrors, bear witness to development work in the wind tunnel. Last but not least, the engineers have created a real showpiece with the exposed trellis frame, not only for the payload capacity but also for the eye of the beholder. If you look behind the futuristically designed front fairing into the cockpit of the GT, the result is also a pleasantly refreshing sight. All the controls have been redesigned and a perfectly legible 6.5 inches TFT color display has been installed. The display can be customized in various ways. The smartphone connection is easily established via Bluetooth, and the Suzuki My Spin app, available for download free of charge in the Play Store and App Store. Functions like music playback, navigation or headset communication can then be called up on the screen. Conveniently, there is also a USB port with charging function on the side of the display unit. All in all, the infotainment equipment of the GSX-S1000 GT may not be innovative, but it can still be described as cutting edge. While we're on the subject of electronics, Suzuki has also stepped up its game when it comes to riding safety and comfort. As with the new Suzuki GSX-S1000, the GT now also has 3 riding modes that influence the engine characteristics. Further standard equipment includes the obligatory ABS, a traction control adjustable in 5 stages, a quick shifter with blipper and cruise control. The expanded fuel tank capacity can also be chalked up to comfort. Instead of 17 liters, the newly shaped tank now holds 19 liters. Suzuki thus gives the sport tourer a generous range of over 350 kilometers. The seat has also been redesigned. With a height of 810 mm and its flatter shape, it no longer feels quite as cramped as on the predecessor. A quick push of the start button brings the engine to life. The cam profiles have been revised. A throttle body with a reduced diameter has been used and a new airbox has also found its way in. The result on paper: 152 horsepower at 11,000 revolutions per minute and 106 Nm of torque at 9,250 revolutions per minute. Suzuki has also switched to a modern ride-by-wire system. All this now helps to achieve a much smoother response. Connoisseurs of the last GSX-S models know that the harsh throttle response was often a problem in hairpin turns, if you were not prepared for it. The rough use of power often spoiled the line in tight corners. The constant jerking of the old generation is also a thing of the past. With the GT, you can now cruise through towns and cities absolutely cleanly at low revs, thanks to the elastomer-mounted handlebars and rubberized footrests. There are virtually no vibrations below 5,000 revolutions per minute. In general, it should be noted at this point, not many vehicles on the market can drive so confidently in 6th gear at 40 to 50 km per hour through local areas. Japanese 4-cylinder running culture in perfection. When it gets sporty on open roads and the 1000cc 4-cylinder is allowed off the leash, the GT lets its superbike roots show through. This starts with the engine, which is based on the K5. With typical fine 4-cylinder vibration, it turns greedily upwards. The drive hangs super directly on the electronic throttle without being gruff. Both the power and torque curves have been smoothed out compared to the predecessor. This can also be felt when driving. The 152 horses move absolutely linear and predictable to the rear wheel. The engine only really comes to life from about 7,000 revolutions per minute. But together with the pleasantly short transmission downshift in the middle gears, this is ideal for use on country roads. Of the 3 driving modes, the sportiest mode was the most appealing in the test. The B mode is suitable for dirty road sections or driving in the rain with its noticeably restrained power delivery. Mode C was not used for a long time in the test thanks to the perfect function of the first 2. The aforementioned rainy drive actually occurred in the test in the course of the morning. The mountain roads around the picturesque Lago d'Iseo presented themselves wet, and thus, in addition to the driving mode, with a few button presses on the fancy control unit at the left end of the handlebar, the traction control was turned up from level 2, which turned out to be very suitable in normal, dry driving, to 4. This provided a pleasant safety cushion in the wet. Provoked slips were thus already intercepted in the making. Overall, the well-functioning traction control, which operates conventionally via wheel speed, can be set in 5 stages. Suzuki offers a lean angle-dependent control neither for the traction control nor for the ABS due to the lack of the corresponding sensors. However, such a control was not really missed in the test. In terms of chassis, the GSX-S1000 GT starts with proven material. There is no difference to its naked bike sister in terms of hardware, but there is in terms of tuning. The fully adjustable 43mm USD fork from KYB, as well as the rear shock, which is adjustable in rebound and preload, deliver solid results in riding. Suzuki has managed the balancing act between sporty precision and ride comfort very well in the setup. 120mm of travel at the front and 130mm at the rear also offer sufficient reserves and fit the sports tourer category. There is only a little criticism in the response behavior. Over edges in the road, potholes or manhole covers, the GT is a bit bucky. Overall, however, the sports tourer from Hamamatsu makes a very good impression in riding. It can be circled through the corners precisely and with a high degree of stability. At 226 kilograms ready to ride, it is also pleasingly light for the 1000cc touring class. If you go sportily with the GT over the winding roads, you can always feel the high chassis quality. In addition to the engine, the frame and swing arm also have their roots in the super sporty Gixxer model series, with the handlebars now widened by 23mm compared to the previous F model, which in comparison to the GSX-S1000i. The naked bike system model is shaped somewhat further towards the rider. The vehicle can be confidently directed towards the entrance to the bend. The Suzuki then pulls through the bend, full and through the track, preferably briskly and through wide radii. With regard to the brakes, it should be noted that stability and dosing can be rated as very good. However, the bite that the Brembo M4 system delivers together with the 310mm double disc could be a bit more energetic. Whether the GT uses tamer brake pads than the GSX-S1000 could unfortunately not be answered. In terms of tires, Suzuki sticks to the 190 divided by 50-17 dimension, also in favor of stability, the developer said. Negatively, the relatively low cross-section did not make itself in the test happening in any case noticeable. The Dunlop standard tires, the Sportnex Road Sport 2, left a good impression, both in the dry and in the wet. Who now asks for an electronic chassis, an IMU for lean angle-dependent control systems or even gimmicks like a radar-based distance and cruise control? Suzuki has deliberately dispensed with these. According to information from Japan, a good price-performance ratio was always included in the development. With about 14,500 euros at Suzuki Germany, you get in any case a great equipped and perfectly processed package. With a payload of 190 kilograms, the sports tourer can also carry quite a bit of luggage. The side cases from the original accessories came highly recommended in the test, not only because they blend in perfectly with the overall look of the GT with the appropriate paint accents, but also because they are easy to use and practical. The same size on the left and right. They hold a volume of 36 liters each. Even a voluminous full-face helmet in size XL fits in easily, in order to be able to use the season accordingly long. The optional heating grips from the altogether 36-part accessory catalog for the GT are still recommended. Conclusion: like its naked bike sister, the new Suzuki GSX-1000 GT makes a futuristic appearance with corners and edges. But that's just in terms of looks. In driving, on the other hand, it's absolutely smooth. The proven 4-cylinder is a real model in terms of running culture, not least thanks to ride-by-wire and new tuning. It still has its roots in the GSX R1000 from 2005. And that's a good thing, because the stable chassis and the high-revving engine with 152 horsepower are a guarantee of riding pleasure, especially when the going gets sporty. The extensive standard equipment makes the new GSX-S1000 GT a great package. The quickshifter, for example, works excellently in both directions. The cruise control helps to bridge freeway stages in a relaxed manner, and the new display unit with extensive connectivity features brings contemporary verve to the cockpit. The price is also fair.